Respect isn't something that can be demanded, it has to be earned. In relationships, especially between men and women, respect lays the groundwork for trust, love, and lasting connection. Yet many women find it difficult to build this crucial respect because they overlook one powerful truth. People treat you based on the boundaries you set. Without clear, firm boundaries, it's easy for others to take advantage, cross lines, and confuse love with control. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out or keeping distance. They're about showing others how you expect to be treated. They reflect your self-worth and the standards you hold in your life. When you set strong, healthy boundaries, you're silently telling the world that you value yourself, and in return, others begin to value you. For men, this kind of self-respect naturally draws admiration. It tells them you're not someone who can be pushed around, disrespected, or taken lightly. In this message, we're going to look at 5 key boundaries that not only protect your emotional health, but also make men respect you more. These boundaries shape your emotional well-being, how you communicate, how you manage your time and space, your values, and your physical presence. When you master these areas, you'll build deeper, more rewarding relationships based on mutual respect and real connection. Respect doesn't come from being easygoing or always saying yes. It comes from knowing who you are and standing strong in that. Let's look at the first, emotional boundaries. Protecting your emotional space is the foundation of self-respect and plays a big role in gaining respect from others, especially men. Emotional boundaries set the limits on how others interact with your feelings and how much emotional energy you give to others. Without these limits, you risk emotional exhaustion, dependency, or being manipulated. A woman who understands and expresses her emotional needs without shame sends a strong message. Her emotional life matters and deserves to be treated with care. This doesn't mean you become distant or cold. It means you know when to give and when to pull back to protect your emotional balance. Emotional independence gives you strength, and that kind of strength earns respect. When a man sees that you're not easily swayed by mood swings or emotional games, he knows your peace of mind is something he can't shake or use against you. A big part of emotional boundaries is understanding how much emotional work you take on in a relationship. Women often take on the emotional caretaker role, always soothing, always adjusting, always holding space for a partner's ups and downs. While emotional support is important, it should be mutual. Constantly putting someone else's feelings above your own will wear you down and eventually lead to bitterness. When you limit how much of your emotional energy goes to others, you're teaching them to manage their own emotions. You're showing them that your emotional space isn't a dumping ground. Emotional boundaries also help you recognize manipulation. If someone uses guilt, silence, or emotional outbursts to control how you respond, that's a red flag. Standing your ground in those moments takes courage, but protecting your peace gives you strength. Men deeply respect women who manage their emotions with confidence and don't rely on others for stability. That level of maturity brings balance and creates more meaningful connections. Next is communication boundaries. Clear, confident expression is one of the strongest tools for gaining respect in any relationship. When you speak with purpose and clarity, you're not just sharing your thoughts, you're showing that your voice matters. Communication boundaries show others how you expect to be spoken to and interacted with. Assertiveness is not the same as being aggressive. It's about being honest, direct, and respectful with your words. Many women soften their language to avoid upsetting others or to seem more likable. But when you constantly tone down your truth, you lose power, and people may stop taking you seriously. When you speak up clearly and without hesitation, you show that your opinions and feelings deserve to be heard and considered. One of the most powerful parts of communication is being able to say no without guilt. No is a full sentence. You don't need to explain or defend every decision. When you feel like you have to justify your no, you're opening the door for your boundaries to be questioned. Men respect women who are firm and certain with their choices. It tells them you trust yourself and don't need outside approval. Whether it's saying no to a last-minute plan, turning down a request, or standing firm in a personal choice, your clarity teaches others that your time and boundaries are serious. Another important part of communication boundaries is recognizing when someone is being manipulative or passive-aggressive. If a man avoids accountability through sarcasm, guilt, or evasion, it's important to address it calmly and directly. Ignoring it only encourages more of the same. By confronting it respectfully, you're saying that you expect honesty and emotional maturity in your relationships. Silence can also be a powerful communication boundary. Not every situation needs a reaction. Sometimes staying silent protects your energy and keeps you from being pulled into unnecessary arguments. When you master this kind of assertive communication, you show up as someone who commands respect. Men are drawn to women who speak with confidence because it brings clarity and stability into the relationship. It replaces confusion with understanding and creates a deeper, more genuine connection. Then comes time and space boundaries. The way you treat your own time teaches others how to treat it. When you put effort into your goals, self-care, and personal time, you're showing the world, and especially men, that your time matters. These boundaries reflect your sense of self-worth and show that you have a life beyond the relationship. Men admire women who have their own passions, who are busy creating a meaningful life. It signals purpose, independence, and balance. Many women fall into the habit of always being available, changing plans, giving up free time, or ignoring their needs to please others. But constantly doing that tells others that your time isn't valuable. It leads to exhaustion and, worse, to resentment. Respecting your own time means setting aside space for what matters to you, your hobbies, work, rest, and joy. A woman who invests in herself is saying her happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. That kind of self-reliance earns respect. It also creates a relationship where both partners support each other without losing their own identities. Just as important is protecting your physical space. You may need time alone to recharge, or boundaries around shared areas. If someone tries to intrude on that space, calmly explain what you need. Responding with calm strength sets a tone of mutual respect. Time boundaries also mean not letting people overstep again and again. If someone keeps interrupting your plans or expecting constant attention, it's time to speak up. Kindly but clearly let them know that your schedule matters. When you live with intention and don't let others take over your time, you're modeling self-respect. Men are naturally drawn to women who don't drop everything for attention because it shows that you live by your values, not by pressure. This healthy balance of connection and independence creates admiration and lasting respect. Next is your respect for your own values and principles. Holding on to what you believe in without backing down might be one of the strongest signals of self-respect. Your values guide how you live, what you allow, and what you refuse. They shape your vision of right and wrong, and they define what kind of life you want. When you're clear about your values and stand by them no matter what, you create a foundation that earns real respect. Men are drawn to women who know who they are and don't waver when things get tough. That kind of self-awareness is powerful. It shows maturity, strength, and confidence. In a world where people often compromise themselves for approval, a woman who remains grounded is unforgettable. She becomes someone whose respect must be earned, not given away easily. Creating boundaries around your values means understanding your non-negotiables and standing by them consistently. For instance, if honesty is one of your core values, then you shouldn't accept dishonesty in any shape or form, whether it's white lies or bigger betrayals. If loyalty matters deeply to you, you won't invest energy into people who are inconsistent or who play emotional games. These standards aren't about being harsh or overly critical. They're about safeguarding your peace and building a circle of people who reflect your principles. It's quite common for people, including men, to test boundaries, sometimes without even realizing it, just to see what they can get away with. That's why it's vital to notice when someone challenges your core beliefs or tries to nudge you into letting go of what's important to you. If a man disregards your boundaries or makes light of your standards, how you handle that situation will reveal a lot. Holding your ground calmly and without aggression shows that your values are set in stone and not up for negotiation, no matter how charming or persuasive someone may be. Living by your principles builds trust. A woman whose behavior matches her words earns more respect than someone who constantly shifts her position just to be accepted. This consistency proves you know yourself and what truly matters. It also shows emotional maturity and stability, qualities that men admire deeply. At the same time, it's important to acknowledge the values of others while standing firm in your own. You don't need to agree with everyone, but showing kindness and understanding without losing your own integrity reveals emotional intelligence. That balance of strength and compassion makes you both grounded and approachable, laying the foundation for stronger and more respectful relationships. Upholding your values leads to healthier connections. When you express your standards clearly and enforce them with consistency, you attract people who are aligned with your beliefs. This alignment cuts down on conflict and miscommunication and brings more ease into your interactions. Men respect women who challenge them to grow, who bring a higher standard into the relationship, and who don't lower their expectations to avoid being alone. Living by your values isn't about being unbending. It's about being real. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to accept anything beneath that. Men admire women who live by their truth because it shows power, confidence, and a deep sense of self-worth. A woman like that doesn't need to ask for respect. It comes to her naturally. One of the most vital and empowering ways to gain a man's respect is by creating strong physical and intimacy boundaries. These are essential not just for your emotional well-being, but to maintain a sense of safety, comfort, and personal control. They send the message that your body belongs to you. And sharing physical closeness is something meaningful, not casual. When you decide how, when, and with whom to share your space and your body, you naturally earn a different level of respect, especially from men. Physical boundaries go far beyond intimacy. They include who you allow into your space, how you handle physical contact, and what you expect from others in terms of respecting your comfort. If a man touches you in a way that makes you uneasy, even something as subtle as a prolonged hand on your back or an unwanted hug, you have every right to speak up or move away. Enforcing that boundary immediately tells him you are in control. It sends a clear message. Your safety and comfort are not negotiable. In romantic situations, boundaries around intimacy matter even more. Many women feel pressure to move physically faster than they truly want to, worrying that a man may lose interest otherwise. But when you confidently express your boundaries about physical closeness, it often earns you greater respect. A man who genuinely values you will respect your pace and appreciate your self-worth. Rushing into intimacy to keep someone interested rarely ends with mutual respect. On the other hand, choosing your timing for intimacy builds a deeper level of understanding and admiration between you. And it's crucial to express your boundaries with clarity and confidence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what makes you comfortable. Your feelings are enough. Whether you're deciding when you're ready to be intimate or how much affection feels right in public, being direct shows that you prioritize your emotional health over pleasing others. Men notice when a woman can speak her truth without shrinking back or doubting herself. Physical boundaries also apply to daily life. Maybe it's letting someone know they can't just show up at your place uninvited. Maybe it's asking someone to give you a bit more space when talking. These small moments matter. They remind others that your space is to be respected at all times. By keeping those boundaries firm, you shape your environment in a way that supports your well-being. Often, physical boundaries are closely tied to emotional ones. If you allow someone to cross your physical limits, it can lead to emotional discomfort. On the flip side, keeping strong physical boundaries creates emotional safety. This builds trust and emotional connection. Setting physical boundaries isn't about keeping people at a distance, it's about creating safety and trust. When a man sees that you respect your body and your space, he learns to do the same. It becomes the foundation of a connection built on honor, not entitlement. Your body and your space are sacred. You decide how they are treated. When you firmly set and protect your physical and intimate boundaries, you're sending a powerful message. I respect myself, and I expect others to do the same. That message cannot be ignored. Men who understand this will respect you, not because they have to, but because they see your inner strength and it moves them. Real respect starts with how you treat yourself. When you create boundaries and uphold them with strength and consistency, you're not just protecting your peace, you're elevating your presence. You become the kind of woman who knows her worth and makes no apologies for it. That energy radiates, men see it, and it sets the tone for every interaction. Let's be honest. Setting boundaries isn't about creating drama or pushing people away. It's about deciding what kind of life you want and allowing only those who respect it to be part of it. It's about realizing your time matters, your feelings are valid, your values are not optional, and your body is yours to protect. It's about letting go of the need to carry other people's emotional loads while neglecting your own. True respect comes from balance, not sacrifice. When a woman protects her emotional space, speaks with conviction, prioritizes her energy, stays true to her principles, and guards her body and space, she becomes unshakable. Men are drawn to this kind of strength, and it draws a clear line between the ones who are worthy of your presence and the ones who are not. Men who respect those boundaries are the ones who grow with you, not hold you back. Not everyone will appreciate your boundaries. Some may test them, others might walk away. Let them. Your boundaries are not meant to make everyone happy. They're meant to protect you from people who only benefit from your lack of self-respect. You deserve relationships where you are celebrated, not tolerated, where your voice is acknowledged, not dismissed, where your energy is cherished, not taken for granted. These kinds of relationships are only possible when you honor yourself first. Boundaries are a form of deep self-respect. They require bravery, consistency, and clarity. But the transformation they bring is undeniable. You'll stop chasing respect because it will come naturally. Men will recognize your worth not because you beg for it, but because you embody it in everything you do. So let the world know you're a woman of grace, power, and purpose. Let your boundaries attract the people who are ready to love and respect you properly. And most importantly, let them remind you every single day that you are enough, exactly as you are, worthy of love, of respect, and of everything good this life can offer.